Alright. Here's a tactic that is kind of mean, but it's very effective. Blitzing the enemy's economy. You'll need two types of ships in order to do this. You'll need your strike carrier, which you see here. There's two very important things about the strike carrier. It's very high warp and very high speed. You want to be able to get into a system, drop from anywhere locally. Maybe you'll use a warp gate to drop on. Sneak in a little warp ship and just hot drop right into them. But you take your strike carrier here, a few of them, load it with a lot of bombers, and you get in there and you pop the base. Alright. Then you'll use your raider here. Alright. You notice it also has high warp, high speed, carries quite a few troops there, 6 of them, and you directly assault the colony. Wherever how many troops you're carrying. Maybe you're carrying 15 of these in your strike fleet, and so you're going to drop 90 mechs onto the colony. Once you take the colony, you're going to plunder it, of course, and then you're going to directly conquest attack the colony. Once you take it, you then immediately release it. And the reason for doing this is that you're not really going to be able to hold the colony behind enemy lines, but because its morale is going to drop down to 50, which means the colony is going to put up very little resistance whenever your enemy player tries to come back and retake it. But if you release it and turn it into a rebel colony, it goes back to 100 support and will put up an actual resistance to the player who wants to retake it. So they'll actually have to pull back an army to retake the colony. But in the meantime, while they're pulling together an army to try and retake these colonies, these rebel colonies spawn fleets that are hostile to them. Alright, so now you've got your little strike group that's just going around behind enemy lines, just popping mining stations and taking out colonies and then turning them into rebel colonies, plundering them, making a lot of money. And this is going to cause so much chaos behind the front lines that really they're not going to be able to really focus on attacking you, because all those enemy fleets, because every single rebel colony is going to be spawning a fleet that's going to be attacking them, attacking their transports, attacking other mining bases, any little damaged fleets they have, their mining fleet, for example, stuff like that. And so they're going to have their hands full for quite a while. They're going to have to form several patrol fleets, set up an actual advancing line where they put up interceptors in like 6 different systems and try to slowly push that line up, while having the army go back through, rebuilding all those bases you blew up, retaking the colonies, putting a new garrison in there to try and stabilize the colonies. And this is going to take them, depending on how much damage you do, it could be a week that you're putting them back. And you do enough of these colony pops, they'll probably just outright surrender the war, to be honest, because a small group like 15 of these freighters I have here, and maybe another 10 of those strike carriers full of bombers, and within a day, because you have such high speed, you're able to jump systems very quickly, go off. By the time they're trying to respond over here, you're already in the next system, starting to pop some of these bases and colonies. And, when you're doing this, you're going to see on your page, right, it's going to show you when an enemy fleet is warping in. So you approximately know how long it's going to take a regular fleet to warp in. It's going to be usually at least an hour, sometimes 2 hours, for a fleet from the neighboring system to warp in. But you're warping a lot faster because you made sure to have tripled, really, the warp speed that you need. So you're going to be jumping out of systems in like 30 minutes. So that's the key to doing that, and you can actually do that to defeat a much stronger player. Really, the only way to counter this is to have decent interceptoring fleets and to have enough Hydra bases protecting. But even then, if they do have all of their colonies protected by Hydras, you can still quickly cap one of them and then pull out. It'll hurt them a little bit.